Hey guys, it's Daniel here. Now, to return as a video presenter, I now present a review of another thing that has a franchise coming to its close. First off, I talked about the amazing Lord of the Rings: The Return of the King. Now, I am going to continue the end of era spectrum by reviewing the first ever episode of the 11th and final season of The Walking Dead. Yes, the final season has finally premiered its first episode on TV. Now, for those of you who don't know, the first episode premiered last week, but it was on websites and all that, so people got to see it early. So technically, on the internet, the second episode would have come out today. But I decided to review the first episode on this day because, well, today's the day it premieres on TV, August 22nd. Although this video will be up on August 23rd, probably. So, to tell you my thoughts on the first episode of The Walking Dead Season 11, titled Acheron Part 1. I think I might have pronounced its name wrong. If I have, I do apologise. I'll put its name right here. But as many of you know, I really love The Walking Dead. I think it's one of the best TV shows on TV at this current time. So, you guessed my fangasm to discuss what will happen to our characters in this final season. It's coming to an end soon. So, here are my thoughts on the first episode of The Walking Dead Season 11. And let me remind you, there's going to be spoilers. Major spoilers. So, as you know, from Season 10, Maggie, played by Lauren Cohen, has finally returned after her 2-season absence, although technically it's 6 years or 7 years for them or something. And now she is taking full-on command. Since she's been absent for 7 years, she comes back with new fellows and now is being prompted to be the leader of a group of people who are searching for supplies. And you can tell that after the 6 years of her being away from her friends and family has affected her and has charged her to become a more determined and risky-taking leader. Because you can tell throughout the episode that she is so determined to get a bunch of stuff to help her friends survive that she doesn't even think about what's important, her friends, her comrades, her family and all that, because she almost is willing to let some of them die just to get supplies. And I don't know whether it's bad or good or something. Obviously it's bad because I don't like Maggie being this way, but I feel like that the first third of Season 8 is going to be like a Maggie-centric episodes, and I don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. It's a good thing because it gives Maggie a bit more spotlight after she was absent for so many episodes, but at the same time, it also makes her do very despicable and unlikable things. But at the beginning, she, Lydia, Carol, Magna, and Daryl and all that, they go to this military base or something to gather supplies, but they end up waking up walkers and they have to kill them, so they make it out. I do like this little detail of when Daryl's wrist gets shredded and his blood slowly drops into one of the walkers. That's a pretty good detail. So, after retrieving their supplies, they head back to Alexandria to recruit more people as they go off to this one's position to get some more supplies, because Maggie explains that she came across a group of people who stole supplies from them, so they have to go steal their supplies back. So she recruits many people, including Negan, which is going to have a hard toll this episode. So they go off into the rain, but they head into this underground station, whatever it is, and they basically are being trapped in there as they try to find a way out to carry on with their journey. And speaking of Negan, let's talk about Jeffrey Dean Morgan as Negan in this episode. Wow, he is phenomenal. Once again, he always picks his words carefully and makes them effective in whenever he would speak each and every line. That scene where he's like, "You are the goddamn Pied Piper." Wow. He still has the same charismatic energy as he was before, with a little bit of creepiness behind him. But I loved him for another reason as well. And that is, throughout the episode, I was on his side. I was not on Maggie's side. Because, as you know, in Season 10, Negan is the one who saved Alexandria and Hilltop. Well, technically he sort of destroyed Hilltop, but it was to save everyone from the Whisperers. He killed Alpha, and if he didn't kill Alpha, people would have been dead. So people were respecting him a bit more. But ever since Maggie came back, he's now been put into the same position he was while he was still in his prison cell. And honestly, I felt sorry for him throughout this episode. I hated the way that Daryl and Maggie were treating him. I felt like he deserved a bit more respect. I understood why Negan was being treated this way because of what he did 7 to 8 years ago while he was still the leader of the Saviors. But that was like a long time ago. He's now changed. So I felt sorry for him. But Maggie is the one making risky decisions that puts a few people off. Mainly Negan. He makes points throughout the episode that, okay, Maggie is kind of like leading us into a trap. I don't think we should be following her. And she is technically putting me in this position just to kill me. And honestly, everything that Negan was saying, he's right. I mean, some of the other members of the crew even side with him. But some others don't, because they still need to like support Maggie and all that. Negan starts arguing with Daryl and Maggie about Maggie's ways of leadership, and saying that Maggie might be just bringing Negan down here just to have him killed. And he says, just like Glenn was. Okay, Negan, maybe that wasn't the best right to move. Oh, too late, you're being punched by Daryl. Daryl just punches him in the face, he falls onto the ground, and Maggie is just like stepping up to him saying, I was the leader because people voted on me to do so. As for killing you, it's still in my mind. And you saw that scene in the trailer where she says that the woman who left 6 years ago is not the one standing here now. And that part of me is just keeping me from killing you. So keep pushing me, Negan, please. Meaning that she is actually willing to let Negan die, but she won't as long as Negan doesn't screw with her. Which then leads to the ending of the episode. Negan, Maggie, Daryl, and a bunch of other people are trying to get inside this train, but they had to climb on top because the train carts were blocked. So they climb on top, and Negan goes up, and Maggie goes up, is the last one to climb up, while Daryl goes off to try to find his dog because it runs away, and Maggie is just hanging onto the top of the railway train as hard as she can. But Negan just looks at her straight in the eye as Maggie is desperate for help, but then he doesn't have the courage to do so because of everything Maggie said. He just leaves and she falls off the train track, and that's where the episode ends. And you might be conflicted by this. Maggie lovers will be angry Maggie fell. Honestly, I'm kind of like 75% Negan, 25% Maggie. At the 75%, I understood why Negan had to do it, because Maggie was just being a total like opposite of what she was from season 2 to season 7, because ever since season 8 she's become a totally different person. But at the same time, I'm like, okay, maybe you could have helped Maggie climb up, because now she's gonna have a bone to pick with you in the next episode. So I was on Team Negan throughout this entire episode, but I got where Maggie was coming from and all that. So that's where the episode ends. But the story with the characters going in the railway train wasn't the only story, as we also had the sub-story following Eugene, Ezekiel, Yumiko, and the princess being captured by the Commonwealth. The Commonwealth are basically asking these four all sorts of questions that they honestly do not understand. Like, where did you come from? What was your original career? Have you ever made all? I can't remember. I can't remember a lot of these questions because these questions are just so forgettable. But at the same time, this is where we finally get the introduction of the Commonwealth leader Mercer. I can't remember the actor's name. I'll put it down here. But that guy is really good. He just stands there while talking in a very peaceful voice, saying, "Yeah, I am in charge." And the conversation between him and Ezekiel is awesome. I mean, Ezekiel's just like standing up to him saying, "Are you in charge? You've been standing there forever while we've been answering to these ridiculous questions." And then basically all four of them, Eugene, Ezekiel, Yumiko, and the princess, are basically talking about whether or not they should escape or whether they should stay in the Commonwealth. And Eugene is the only one saying, we have to stay in the Commonwealth because, remember my radio contact Stephanie, who we heard voices of in the 10th season? They left Alexandria to go find Stephanie because Eugene had a fond run with her and promised her that he would meet her. So he has a feeling that Stephanie is in the Commonwealth community, so he wants to stay to find them out. But the others are just like, I don't know. And they've basically met other members who are being captured by the Commonwealth, asking them how long they've been here, but they are conflicted as to how long they've been there. So in old Star Wars style, they make their plan to escape by taking out 2 Commonwealth soldiers and stealing their uniform. Yumiko and Eugene disguise themselves as like stormtrooper Commonwealth troopers and stuff, and they make a plan to escape. They take Ezekiel and Princess out of the building, but then Princess suddenly sees something that relates to Yumiko, so Yumiko takes a look at herself on the wall, and she has a sneaky suspicion that an old family member from her past might still be alive, and that person might possibly be her brother. And that's where we get the end of their side story. So basically, a lot is probably at stake in this episode, and we get hints that maybe the Reapers are behind what's stealing the stuff and all that. So I guess the episode definitely hit a good start and all that. This episode was very entertaining. It definitely like set the mood in a few parts as to what's to come for this season. But again, this is only the beginning. This is the beginning of the end. I'm just anticipating every single episode as to when we're going to get the end of the end. The finale to the finale. So, I'm very excited to see more of The Walking Dead Season 11. And I want to ask you, what do you think of this episode? Do you love it? Do you hate it? And which team are you on? Are you on Team Negan or are you on Team Maggie? For me, at first I was on Team Maggie when Negan was the leader of the Saviors, but now I'm on Team Negan, so I'm Negan for life, baby. I mean, look at him. Like, come on, you can see him on that poster right there. And more videos to come. I hope you enjoyed this first reaction. I hope to get more reactions of each episode of The Walking Dead Season 11 done. And I probably might review The Walking Dead Season 11, like, probably either each third of the season, or probably the whole season once it's wrapped up. But these are my thoughts on each episode. So I hope you enjoyed this review, and I cannot wait to do more. And I'm Daniel, reviewing movies, TV shows, and doing videos. And I am excusing the crud out of my goddamn French. Till then, peace out, man.